Hi, and welcome back to the second hour Focal Point. AFR Talk. Brian Fisher is my name. I want to turn our attention to Obamacare. And there's something very significant, I think is very important to understand about what's going on with this complete and utter fiasco that is Obamacare. This is the Hindenburg of healthcare. This thing is imploding. It's burning up. It's exploding. It's crashing and burning. There is no possible way. Even the Washington Post today saying, look, this thing is not going to be ready. It's not going to be up and running by the end of November. There is no possible. These are the techies that are saying this. There's no possible way this thing is going to be functional by the end of November. In fact, the techies, if they're honest, they'll tell you, look, this thing could be years before it gets fixed. And they're saying, look, the deeper we get into this thing, just when we solve one problem, we get past one kind of roadblock, another set of problems open up. We just keep discovering new problems that we didn't even know existed because we hadn't been able to get that far into the website. Now, here's the point of this, and I don't want you to miss this because this is very, very, very important. And I'm going to play a Charles Krauthammer clip and then come back and talk about how important what Krauthammer says is here and how Obamacare illustrates this. Let's listen.
Look, what we have, as you mentioned in the opening, we have not just Obamacare unraveling, not just the Obama administration unraveling, not just the Democratic majority in the Senate, but we could be looking at the collapse of American liberalism. Obamacare is the big thing for them, the biggest in 100 years.
Absolutely.
And this is a moment when we have to be calm. We have to understand what holds us together on the right. We have to watch and explain why the failure of the left is happening. And if we do that, we will win.
Now, what Krauthammer's saying, and this is the important takeaway from all this, this Obamacare thing, it absolutely destroys socialism. It destroys liberalism. Why do I say that? Because what we've always heard, what we've always been told is socialism is a beautiful political theory. It's perfect. It's paradise on earth. It's utopia. The problem is we've never had the right people running it. That's why communist China was such a dismal failure and people starved to death and they were murdered. That's why Soviet Union people starved to death by the millions and there was so much repression and poverty. It's just because the right people weren't running it. The ideas are flawless. They're great. And what we're now faced with is these people are telling us, look, we are the right people. We are the right people. We're the smartest people. We're the brightest people. We're the most educated people. We're the most intelligent people. We're the most insightful people, not like you rubes out there in middle America. And we are leading the most powerful, the strongest, and the richest nation in history, and they cannot make it work. I mean, if you can't take the greatest nation in history, the most prosperous nation in history, the strongest nation in history, the most educated nation in history, and you cannot make socialism work, it will not work anywhere. I mean, this is all we need. Somebody says, what about socialism? Say Obamacare. Obamacare proves beyond any shadow of a doubt that this is a political philosophy that does not work. It never has worked. And in fact, it absolutely cannot work. It is not possible for socialism to work. Let's go back to clip number one. 888-589-8840, by the way, is the number to call, 888-589-8840. Let's go back to clip one. Here is Jay Carney, and the thing here, I think the most important part of this takeaway is the question that John Carl with ABC News asks Jay Carney.
Is the number of people who enroll going to be lower than those that have been receiving cancellation notices?
John, I would simply ask you to wait until the data are released. I think it's fair to say that the enrollment figures will be low, and we're going to be low anyway. They will be significantly lower because of the challenges posed by the faulty website.
But what will that say? I mean, what kind of a message is that if more people have received cancellation notices than have actually been able to enroll?
So John Carl says, hey, here's a good question. We know about the millions and millions and millions of people that are losing health care under Obamacare. That's 4.8 million verified now. We're on our way to 53 million. According to the American Enterprise Institute, we could be up to as many as 129 million people are going to lose insurance. Obama's own people were saying back in 2010, 93 million people are going to lose their insurance. And so the question is, how many people are going to get insurance under Obamacare? And he has no answer to that question. I'm looking at Massachusetts. Now, Massachusetts, this is Romney Care. This is the Cadillac of socialized medicine under Mitt Romney. How the Republicans ever picked a socialist like Mitt Romney on health care, socialist on health care, to be our candidate. That's one of life's eternal mysteries. But Massachusetts has been doing socialized medicine since 2006. Now, they have about 150,000 people have lost their insurance in Massachusetts. This is the premier example. These guys have been doing it for 7 years. You know how many people have actually enrolled in Massachusetts Healthcare Connector? 549. I think the total number of people that actually have completed applications is something like 16,282. So 16,282 have even completed applications. This is in comparison to 150,000 who have lost their insurance. So that's about 10% have completed applications. In terms of the people that have actually enrolled, it's about 1%. So 99% of the people that are losing their insurance in Massachusetts are not getting it back. And so the reality is this is the tragedy of Obamacare, far more people are going to lose their insurance under Obamacare than are going to get insurance under Obamacare. Let's go to James, Camden, Tennessee. James, welcome to Focal Point with Brian Fisher. What's on your mind?
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to compliment you on starting your show with a prayer. I think it's great that you put your religion on the line like that.
Great, thank you.
I wanted to make a comment about the kind of the whole Obamacare environment and the socialist movement and Obama's leadership in there. I'm almost 70, so I go back into the 50s as a kid, and I was a big student of Western history, world history, as I was growing up. And the situation we're in right now is very similar to what was going on in the Weimar Republic before World War II. And we're very, very close to the identical situation that was happening around 1934, where the Nazis, we won the election in 32 and took the country over in 36. And we're in real danger of having the same thing follow again unless we're very careful about what happens, because with the voter registration that's available in Obamacare, the Democratic Socialist leadership could steal the 2014 election from us unless we're really, really careful about protecting the integrity of it.
All right, James. Well, listen, I appreciate what you're saying, and I agree with it. You know, another thing that happened in the Weimar Republic, thank you for the call, is the printing of worthless money. Now, we've had the Fed doing this. I've got a stack of stories. I have not been able to get to them this week. I hope to get to it today, maybe tomorrow, about what the Federal Reserve printing this money with no wealth to back it up, the risk it's running of severe inflation, and what it's going to do to the national debt. Pretty spooky. Focal Point, AFR Talk, back in 2.